Hi guys, it's KB5 MIQ Big Boy. We're gonna do a little add-on to this tonight's video. Uh, got an email from one of our winners of our last contest. Got his email up here. Let's see. Philip Canterbury from Florida. Walton County Amateur Radio Club, Whiskey Foxtrot 4 X-Ray, is having a tailgate sale January the 13th, 0800 to 1200 there in Walton County, Florida. Info slide will be on the back of the video here. Thanks for sending that in. Also, we'll have the info of the Cowtown Amateur Radio Club Hamfest slide will be on there also. Had a good meeting this afternoon with K5 BCW, Brian Walls from the Hayworth Lions Amateur Radio Club, Hayworth High School, over here just north of me in Hayworth, Oklahoma. We're able to fix Brian up with some stuff for their class on behalf of my channel, KV5SIX, What's Up with 6, K1ENT, Broken Circuit Ranch. We set them up with a bunch of different ARRL and amateur radio related books and 3 UV5R talkies for them kids to use. So, guys, any way we can help y'all with your stuff, let us know, and I'm glad to support these young people trying to get into ham radio. And Brian, you're doing a fine job. This is going to be the lead in to our regular Saturday night video. We're going to do some review on some MFJ dummy loads. Thanks for everybody who's watching. KB5MIQ73. Good morning, guys. I'm shooting this video a couple of days early this week due to family outings I've got planned the rest of the weekend. So, we're going to talk a little bit about, well, before I get into that, guys, I'm in the process of trying to improve my channel, and I'm in the process of trying to switch to an actual camera and doing editing and everything on my computer. Still, still having some fun learning how to do that, but we're working on it. But hopefully, maybe the video after this one, I can be a switch plumb over to doing them like a normal YouTuber should instead of doing them all on my camera, on my phone. Appreciate everybody's support through this, and we're still having some fun doing this, and this has been a learning curve experience. All right, guys, we're going to do some reviews on some MFJ dummy loads. Dummy loads, you know, I never used one because I've always had just a, newer all transistor radios. I believe dummy loads were really used a whole lot when everybody was running tube radios because you had to tune your tubes before you started transmitting. And I know a lot of guys would use a switch to tune the radio into a dummy load, so you don't send out a QRM signal over there. That's the best way to put it, I think. But I started having trouble with this 897D several years ago and found out it was one of the common issues that come up with it, but I was trying to figure out what was going on because I was getting some really low signal reports. My audio was fine, but I had no output power. And I noticed I'd lost all my a majority of my output power on single sideband. So I went to MTC and I was going to buy one of the old standard 1 gallon can oil filled dummy loads. That's all I'd ever had any experience with. MFJ sells them and they still offer them, but they was out of them at the time. But I bought this dummy load myself. This is an MFJ 264 1 kilowatt dry dummy load. This is a really good investment, I think. I was able to use this and figure out that my radio output on single sideband was down to less than 10 watts. Depending on the band, some of it was like 3 watts. And between talking to Yesu's rep at the time, tech support, there's 3 filters that was out in my radio, and I sent it back and got it repaired. Since then, I've used this extensively for testing. This 701, I've tested it. When I was learning to use Kent's 940, I kept it hooked to a dummy load just to be sure I didn't make a mistake and did any damage to the radio. This is a really cool dummy load. Like I say, this is one I had purchased before I ever got involved with MFJ. It's got a 1500 watt capacity, power capacity, and it's rated here on the back how long you can transmit on different wattages. Like for full 1500 watts, it's got a 10-second transmit limit. And if you drop down to 100 watts, you've got 600 seconds. And in most testing, you're not ever going to transmit that long. And it's small, lightweight, out of the way, air-cooled, full legal limit dummy load. I like it. I wouldn't take for it. Jeff is running the MFJ 260C 300 watt version of the same dummy load. And he got his at MTC. And I think when he bought his, they was out of them, and that's what they had. And he swears by it. I mean, I think they're a good addition for your shack. Now we're going to talk about a couple they sent me to review. This one I really like. This is the MFJ 261 handy dummy load. Same frequency range up to 500 megahertz. The cool thing I like about this one, it's got a PL259 adapter straight on it. If you needed to troubleshoot a radio mounted in a vehicle, a mobile unit, you just screw it right on the back of the radio. There you go. You'd be able to have a dummy load to check things out with it right there. It's small, lightweight. It's 15 watt average with a 100 watt peak. DC to 500 megahertz dummy load. Fairly inexpensive, compact, seems to be fairly well made dummy load. I think it'd be handy to have, especially if you do a lot of work with mobile radios. Now they sent me another one. This one is, I don't really have, this would be good to use. It's a high precision dummy load, the MFJ 262B. All right. This particular model is one with the PL259, DC to 1 gigahertz. So if you're running any of those ultra high frequency radios, this would be the one you'd probably want to use. Power range, continuous use is 35 watts. And 200 watts dip max for 10, 12, 15 seconds. So I think excellent use, especially if you got some of those higher wattage radios. And I think on MFJ's website right now it is $79.95. So I could hook these up and show you, but all you're going to see is just a flat SWR on them, so I don't really need to demonstrate a dummy load. I do like the MFJ dummy load, so. Plus, these are a lot handier to keep up with than having one with the oil field type dummy load. I think they'd be really good stuff. So, you're looking at 4 right now that we're talking about. 2 of them, Jeff and I already own that we had bought ourselves and really like them. And these 2 smaller dummy loads are fairly inexpensive dummy loads. So they're good shack enhancements, testing radios, anything like that. And one thing cool about this one, if you go into a ham fest or a tailgate sale, this be pretty easy to stick in your pocket, and same with the other one, to test the radio before you buy it. Now that's a pretty good idea, I think, to be able to test the radio before you buy it. So, consider those dummy loads. I think you wouldn't go wrong with any of them, with MFJ selection of dummy loads. Guys, the Cowtown Ham Fest in Fort Worth, Texas, 19th and 20th of January. Right now, I'm planning to attend. I probably won't get there till mid-morning on Saturday, but I am planning to attend it. Old Ham Radio Cat just come in here meowing. Remember, Main Trading Company in Paris, Texas, they're closed right now till like the first of the year, but they've still got their website up, still got a little bit of used gear on the website, and promising bigger and better things for 2024 at Old Ham Radio Cat. And I want to wish everybody a happy new year. And thanks for everybody subscribing to the channel. It's KB5 MIQ Big Boy, save 3.